we're giving people the skills and the confidence to say to somebody, are you feeling suicidal, and to not be scared or run away from that.
Across those couple of days, people were like, yeah, I've been there, or I know somebody who's been there, or I know somebody who's there.
You know that there is someone to go to, and that is always the first starting point to seeking help when you're struggling with your mental health.
So by delivering mental health first aid training, we deliver impact. We give somebody the confidence to be able to act.
Back in the late 90s, when I had a personal experience of mental health issues, there was no one for me, including family. People either didn't understand or didn't want to understand. And in the work environment, there was a lack of, well, let's call it mistrust.
I deliver mental health first aid because, just like physical first aid, it's really important that somebody has the power to be able to help somebody in a time of need. And just like physical first aid, if somebody's in crisis, you need to act quickly with the confidence to be able to make a difference. Mental health first aid is exactly the same. If somebody's in mental crisis, then how can somebody use their skills to help somebody during one of the most vulnerable times in a person's life?
I think just as a community in general, upskilling ourselves on MHFA, making sure that somebody within your community group is MHFA trained, that people within your companies are trained, that it's well publicised who your mental health first aider is, that mental health is put on the agenda for regular meetings within your organisations, be it your community group, be it your church, be it your place of work, be it your school. I think we just all need to sort of make sure that it's on our agendas and make sure that it's covered.
This year's World Mental Health Day's focus is on suicide. Suicide is single-handedly one of the hardest conversations to have on our mental health first aid courses. It always brings up a lot of feeling, as you could probably imagine. And it's a taboo subject, we still don't talk about it enough. There are so many things that are designed to prevent road traffic accidents and prevent cyberbullying and prevent trafficking and all sorts of stuff, but we don't see enough, in my opinion, about suicide. So on our mental health first aid courses, we talk about how to broach the subject if you get a gut feeling that somebody is thinking of taking their life.
The very fact that we're having conversations about mental health and first aid and supporting people in a crisis, we're already starting those conversations around suicide. The word suicide is a really difficult word for people to hear, read, say, ask. So by having these open conversations, we are creating an environment where we're giving people the skills and the confidence to say to somebody, are you feeling suicidal? And to not be scared or run away from that. And for people, if they are themselves feeling suicidal, to know that they've got people that they can talk to. Sometimes it's that training day that they say, this is the first time I've been able to say that I've experienced this in the past, and that's actually led them on to go on to seek support. And if they know where to get support, then they might be able to help somebody else who can also get support.
When I look at the behavioural safety training side, and I look at now the extent of people perhaps being unwell mentally, and now having somewhere where they can turn to without there being a stigma attached to it, and I think the more that people train in this field, then that stigma just will naturally reduce.
It is just really important for us as a society to talk more, to check in with each other, to educate and upskill ourselves on what the warning signs of suicide can be. We always say that it's really important to ask directly and openly if you think somebody's at risk or is feeling suicidal, to use the word suicide. Why it's a taboo subject? I just think it is just that lack of conversation around it. We are getting better, but I still think people struggle to open up about their feelings, and I think people struggle to know when to access professional help.
Mental health first aid training for me is one of the most important things that we can arm people with, just like physical first aid, to deal with an emergency in the moment, and by doing so we might just save a life.